Hi, this is Ravvy of Ravvy Plays Games. Let's talk targeting in New World MMO. We'll take a look at melee targeting versus ranged and magic targeting, and I'll show you a little trick to help you hone these targeting skills to perfection. Let's jump in. This might sound strange, but your best friend in this activity is a small young tree. Why do we want to use a small tree? Well, because it's unforgiving, and we're really trying to perfect this skill. We want to keep ourselves centered and steady on our target. So find one that you like the look of, and then we're going to beat it up. So here are the key points when we are targeting in melee. Ignore the reticle. If you have that reticle on your screen, do not look at it. It is not your friend. It is a distraction. If you are approaching a mob and not quite up to the mob, you're actually going to line yourself up with your right shoulder and right side of your head. You do not want to approach with your head centered on the target. If you have any sort of weapon that kind of pulls you forward, it's going to actually pull you forward in a manner that will put you off to the right side of the mob if you do that. I approach with my shoulder and I center with my head when I get to the mob. When you are engaged in melee, that's when you're going to center with your head. I typically like to do this activity without any sort of head armor because I don't tend to wear a head skin in the game. If you want to wear a hat that helps you visualize what is going on and really get an idea of where your head is when you're doing this, you could use something like rabbit ears if you have that skin from the Easter event, or you could use some antlers, a helmet that has some horns. What I'm using here is the Visage of the Dragon King. It is a cast shop thing. What I like about it is it does have side pieces that show the outsides of your head, but also has that centerpiece that really shows whether you're locked in on that tree. I'm going to walk you through targeting with each of the different weapons today, just so you can see that this method is consistent. Let's look at sword and shield. Okay, let's take a look at Warhammer. Again, shoulder approach. Use your head to center on the mob. Okay, great axe, same thing. Shoulder approach. Use your head to center on the mob. Using a rapier, we're going to do the same approach, shoulder approach. Use your head to center on the mob once you're in melee range. Great sword. No surprises here. Use a shoulder approach. Once you're in melee range, use your head to stay centered on the mob. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ranged weapons. The bow, the musket, and the blunderbuss. I have never held a musket or blunderbuss in this game prior to making this video, but I wanted to be able to show all of the weapons and all of their targeting mechanisms, so I brought some with me. We'll start with the bow, just using the reticle to aim. Light shot, heavy shot, skills. Doesn't matter, I'm always going to use that reticle. Now let's try the musket. Okay, it's got a different reticle, but we're still going to use that reticle for targeting. Doesn't seem to matter light shot or heavy shot. There may be other factors when you're utilizing a skill from the tree, but I don't have those skills, so I'm not sure what those would be. Blunderbuss, similar situation. Slightly different looking reticle, but still seems to be utilized for our light and heavy attacks. If there are any exceptions to how the targeting functions when you get down into the skill trees for the musket or the blunderbuss, please do let me know in the comments. We'll go ahead and quickly cycle through the magic weapons. These are all going to be reticle based targeting again. We'll do our fire staff, life staff, ice gauntlet, and last but not least the void gauntlet. The only tricky thing about targeting with the magic weapons is that the fire staff and life staff are fired from your left hand, and the ice gauntlet and void gauntlet fire from your right hand. Look and feel wise, it's a little bit different, and that's just something that you get used to with some practice. Sometimes practicing with a tree for the aspect of just getting the feel of switching between left and right hand magic weapons can be a useful tool. These little trees are our friends. Let's talk about the weapons that have both melee and range capability. That's going to be the spear, with a javelin throw and hatchet with a hatchet throw. You can throw that javelin, you're going to use the reticle, it's going to be dead on. Wherever you aim that reticle, that's where that javelin's going to go. And then we're going to go with our shoulder approach, get into melee. We're going to keep our head centered on the tree. We're going to be good to go for melee combat from there. The same is going to apply when we switch to our hatchet. That hatchet is just going to go into that tree wherever we have that reticle. You can see I've got dunk, 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 dunk. There they go. Once we've thrown our hatchet and we'd like to go into melee, use your shoulder, line up your approach, get into melee, and center with your head. Okay. So to sum up, for thrown weapons, ranged weapons, and magic weapons, that reticle is your friend. It's all you need to get your shots where you need them to be. Melee folks, you're going to have to use that shoulder approach, get into melee range, and then use your head. I hope this tutorial has been helpful for you in determining what you need to do to target with the weapon of your choice. If you have any additional tips or tricks you'd like to share about targeting with any particular weapon class in New World MMO, please consider leaving those down in the comments so that your fellow Soul Wardens can take advantage of that shared knowledge and we can all be lifted up together. If you haven't done so already, please consider hitting subscribe on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button. It costs nothing for you and it helps me know that I'm making stuff that you guys like to see. Bye for now from Ravvy at Ravvy Plays Games. See you out there in Eternum.